Well. So I found an article that I wasn't sure if it was true or not. It was entitled Happy Halal Thanksgiving. It said, did you know that the turkey you're going to enjoy on Thanksgiving Day this Thursday is probably halal? If I were to say it properly because it hurts my throat, halal. If it's a butterball turkey, then it certainly is, whether you like it or not. The meat industry's halal scandal. It's established practice of not separating halal meat from non-halal meat and not labeling halal meat as such. Why would they do this? Pamela Geller is our guest. Pamela, thanks for being with us, dear.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for discussing this important subject.
Are you just mad? It seems like every time Muslims in America do something that oversteps the bounds, you just poke your nose in there. Do you have no fear? I love it.
Well, I mean, if not me, who? This stuff is happening apace. Frankly, I have no problem with, I'm getting tarred and feathered with this story today. And it's interesting how they...
Like a butterball turkey.
Like a butterball turkey. And, it's interesting how they obfuscate. I have no problem with offering halal food choices. I don't. But the very idea that all butterball turkeys, all, are halal and not marked, I have a problem with that. They have to be labeled. There are people, this is a country, this is 325 million people, it is a Christian nation. There are many people that would choose not to eat halal. They would choose not to buy halal.
Are you a Christian, Pamela?
I am not a Christian. I am Jewish, and I expect most people wouldn't buy a kosher meat, and I understand that.
I always appreciate when someone who is not Christian says that this is a Christian nation, because by any statistical measure, it is.
It is.
And I think that's interesting. Anyway, go ahead.
It is,
I thought
and I
that
have,
to be the
listen,
case.
The Christians are benevolent and good. I have absolutely no problem with religion. This is actually not a religious issue. Why would by the way, this is specific. Yes, it's Thanksgiving, it's butterball turkey, but this is systemic in the meat industry. This is in my book, Stop the Islamization of America. Most of the meat that you're buying is halal. Anytime where they're separating it in certain meat industries, it's because somebody on the floor or somebody in that factory just thinks it's wrong.
Let's bring that home. First of all, let me tell you, Pamela, that you say butter like Barbara Streisand's character in Saturday Night Live, which for Southerners kind of makes us laugh, even when you say butterball. Now, for people who you're saying you're eating a halal turkey. Pamela Geller is our guest. The article is in the American Thinker. It's called Happy Halal Thanksgiving. We're posting it to michaelberry.com as we speak. Pamela, for people who hear you say, whether you know it or not, you're eating a halal turkey, why should that bother people?
Well, for some people, it doesn't matter. For others, the idea that the meat is killed in a certain way, and according to Islamic ritual, prayers are said over it. For some people, that's a form of idolatry.
Well, and to be very clear, for the PETA crowd, the throat is slit and it's bled out.
Right.
That's halal.
Look, honestly, I have to tell you, the method of killing, it's really not that. That's not the issue, in my opinion. The issue is that this is killed according to Islamic practice, according to Islamic ritual. And if you're an atheist, many people don't care. I got that. I understand they're eating halal meat. They don't care. They're not eating. They don't care. I understand, but that's not the point. Many people do care. And I think that this has become such a ruckus and such a kerfuffle on both sides. They're saying, Pammy is afraid of stealth jihadi turkeys. No, I'm not afraid of it. I just think that the meat should be labeled. All meat. Everything that's sold in Costco, for example, is all halal. It's not labeled. I don't think that's right. We have 350 million Americans. You have 2 million Muslims. All the meat is halal and not labeled. Why? But this is like a gross assumption. Now, they may be exporting this meat to Muslim countries. That's fine and good. You're going to have to go the extra mile, and you're going to have to label it, whether you like it or not. And this was the point of my bringing it up. This is the point. This is the contention that all of it is halal and it's not labeled. That, Michael, is wrong. It's wrong.
So you note in the article, Pamela Geller is our guest, and the article is a Happy Halal Thanksgiving, and you note that a citizen activist and reader of your website, atlasshrugs.com, wrote to Butterball, or as you say, Butterball, one of the most popular producers of Thanksgiving turkeys in the U.S., asking them if their turkeys were halal. Wendy Howes, a Butterball consumer response representative, responded, quote, "Our whole turkeys are certified halal."
Yes. So the prayer, to Allah is being chanted over the meat. Listen, some people have an issue with that. Some people don't want to eat that, Michael.
Well, and especially if the turkey is offended by that, they might have been cringing. Do you ever eat deer, venison?
I wish. I'm in New York. We don't have animals up here. Just
you
big,
don't know.
tall buildings.
A good backstrap. If an animal is wounded, goes off and dies, if it's not just shot and dropped immediately, it changes the flavor of the meat.
Oh.
Because the adrenaline in the body actually poisons the meat. It affects the meat, and it affects it negatively. So maybe if these turkeys are offended by Muslim chants, then they die very. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
we should let
listen.
PETA know. This is not free range.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, look, the thing is, it is a ritual. It is a religious ritual. There are many, many millions and hundreds of millions of non-Muslims in this country. And I don't think I was outraged, and I did confirm with Butterball before I wrote it. And of course, everyone's turning it around, saying, "Oh, so what? Look, Geller has a problem with halal meat." I have no problem with a myriad choices. That's me. I'm an individual rights activist, but I think that individual rights are actually being violated here.
I love this line right here. Pamela Geller is our guest. And by the way, your publisher is not thinking very much of you because you've been 4 minutes without mentioning the name of the book again.
Oh yeah, they're going to
usually
beat me up.
very
No,
good
but
at that.
this was in my book under the halal, the halal jihad, so to speak. This is in my book about how in the meat packing industry, in the meat factories, it's what's coming out of the American meat factory is halal. It's not being labeled. And here, this just once again validated what I put forth in the book. The book is, by the way, Stop the Islamization of America:
Thank
A
you.
Practical Guide to the Resistance. These things are happening under our noses, Michael, and nobody knows.
You also note others object because of the cruelty to animals that halal slaughter necessitates. Where are the PETA clowns and the ridiculous celebs who pose naked on giant billboards for PETA and animal rights? They would rather see people die of cancer or AIDS than see animals used in drug testing, but torturous and painful Islamic slaughter is okay. I think they're afraid of these people. I think you're the only person in America not afraid of these people.
I can't imagine. I agree with you. I think everybody's afraid of them, with the exception of talk radio and the blogosphere. Clearly, the media is carrying water for the most extreme and radical ideology on the face of the earth. We just busted a major jihadi here in New York who was building bombs in which to kill NYPD police and soldiers. And you have the mayor of New York, the same ground zero musketeering mayor, get up there and say this is a lone wolf and he was, acted on his own. Meanwhile, on my website, atlasshrugs.com, I have a link to the jihadi's website, and it is an intense website with over 28 pages of Islamic study. And it's a blog that he said to educate those in the true religion of Islam and the true nature of Islam.
He was probably the one saying the Islamic prayers, Bismillah, we will not let you go, multiple times over the turkeys that we're now consuming. They're poisoning us, Pamela.
Listen, Campbell's actually uses the Islamic Society of North America to certify their soups halal.
What?
And the Islamic Society of North America was named as a Muslim Brotherhood group, was named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terrorist funding trial in our nation's history, the Holy Land Foundation trial. Again, and I call for a boycott of Campbell Soups, because why would they use a terrorist enabling organization? And of course, everybody came out and said, "Oh, look, she's against halal products." This is a way of obfuscating, twisting, and inverting the message. No, I was against a unindicted co-conspirator being used to certify for halal for Campbell Soup.
Pamela, you do great work. Keep it up, dear.
Thank you, Michael.
The book
for
is
having
called
me.
Stop the Islamicization. You don't have to be able to say it, just buy it, by Pamela Geller. A guide to the resistance. Tommy writes in, I have a talisman to the Islamic prayers said over your halal turkey. Wrap it in bacon. Problem solved.